Hey guys, welcome to Huddle, everybody. February 16th, 2023. What I am seeing on your social media channels, not to get onto you, but I'm getting onto you a little bit, it's kind of boring. Nobody wants to hear 2 minutes about due diligence. Nobody wants to hear about, how great your customer service is. Like, nobody wants to hear that. What people are wanting to hear is stories. They want to know, they want to hear behind the scenes what's happening in your life. It makes you relatable. And as a human being, because we're all human beings and we all have these crazy things that happen in our lives, but guess what? All of those crazy things happen in everybody else's life too. So let's stop with the stuffy, this is about due diligence videos, okay? And let's do things that are you. Like, I want to see your personality come out. So I know Rob was working with somebody last week where, they were the fun, bubbly person, and then as soon as they stepped onto screen, onto camera, they were like, a completely different person. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, who were you just 2 seconds ago? That's what I want to record. Like, okay. So I don't know the outcome of the story. Did that person come back?
Yeah.
They came back out and they were themselves on camera?
Came out of their shell.
Awesome. Yes. Success stories. I love it. So what are your hobbies? Who are you? I don't care if your hobby is collecting butterfly wings. It's who you are. And somebody out there is going to find that interesting. Actually, what's going to be more interesting than just the butterfly wings is your personality and your excitement about it coming out. Yes, if you want to make it related to real estate, we can brainstorm, bounce ideas off of me, bounce ideas off of Rob to try to figure out how it is, how it is going to be related to real estate. But I don't want you doing boring videos because not only are you boring me, but you're boring your audience, which you want your audience to be your future clients. So if you can't keep their attention by talking about, oh, well, this is what an escrow account is, like, they don't need to go to real estate school. They are leaning on you for your knowledge of what you've learned in real estate school and what you've learned in the field with your experience. So I want you to tell a story. And so on due diligence, like, how do you navigate like a difficult situation when it came to like the end of due diligence and you're scrambling and trying to get everything done? And tell a success story of how you saved the day. Or if you didn't save that deal, how did you get the next win for your clients? What about, are you still fighting for them? Could you turn this into a mini series about, hey, this is what's going on with this client? Of course, don't use names, don't use addresses, because that's all, that's all personal information, for your clients. But you say, hey, I've got this house in Marietta, like, I'm working with my clients and we're trying to get them into this property and this is what's going on. And, this is what we're doing today to work on this issue. And then 2 days later, hey, I just want to pop in real quick and say, give you an update on what's going on. Keep it less than 60 seconds because anything longer than 60 seconds, you lose people's attention spans and they're not going to listen to you. Create a series with how things are going and then how you're working on it, and turn it into a blog series. Did anybody see Mike's daily challenge today?
Wasn't it what you just said? Record your podcasting and then do the audio as well?
Yep, exactly. Record it as a video. We have software that we can turn that into a blog. So not only did you get your blog done, or not only get your video done, but you can turn that into post for any and all of your social media channels, and then also turn it into a blog as well. So a blog is a way that you get your searchability up. So I've had coffee today, can you tell? Whenever you have a blog and you're consistent with your blog, anytime that somebody types in your name into Google and you have all of these blogs that you've done, whether they're mini-series or not, you're gonna show up higher and higher in the Google search. So and we want you to be famous, right? So the higher we can get you in the Google search, the higher we can get you in any of the social media platforms in their searches. If you've got a very common name, we want to get you higher and higher and higher in that Google search. For, insert, let me back up. How is your experience in whatever career or whatever job that you had before real estate, or even if you're still working that job, what experience that you've gained from working in those positions has gotten you to where you are now? So say you're in a crazy scenario and you're responding this way currently because of your experience in these other things. So like for me, for example, I used to work for Disney, so I've got a lot of presentation and animation to everything that I do. I'm a very animated person. But because I've got the Disney customer service training, I'm able to now take that into a multitude of clients, different kinds of cultures. So I'm able to work with different kinds of people, doesn't matter their background or anything, because of that Disney customer service that I've gotten. What experience do you have in your life that has helped you in your current situation, whatever little issue or dilemma it is that you're running into? Who are you because of whatever experience it was to help benefit you in this current situation? Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. What I thought would be a really cool video, if somebody does this, I will buy you Starbucks. Start the video with like the record scratch, like it goes, and then it's a pause where you're in you have a crazy expression on your face and there's something going on in the background and you're like, yep, I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation. Then tell a story of how you got into that situation and how you're going to fix it. If you do something like that, you're not only going to catch people's attention in that first second and a half, because they're like, wait, hold on, what is Iris's face? What is this? And what is this craziness happening behind her? And it's your voiceover saying, yep, I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation. You're gonna get their attention, whether they heart, they angry face you, doesn't matter. They're still spending time watching your post, watching your video, and you're capturing that attention. So think screen time. Even if they don't respond to it, they're still interacting with your post because they're just watching it. And Facebook notes that. And then the next time that they spend more than a second and a half watching your video, they're gonna send that person the next time that you send a video or a post. So you're gonna show up in their feed more because they've stopped the scroll and they've watched more than a second and a half or 3 seconds of your video. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So they're gonna see more of your stuff, even if they don't like, heart, comment, anything. They're still gonna see more of it. You don't have to go viral, and you don't have to try to go viral for every post. I don't care if you're posting 2 or 3 times a week, as long as it's good content and not stuffy and boring. Post 2 or 3 times a week. If they're good videos, do it. If you're the person that you want to have a video posted every day, a really quick thing that you could do is, I could even help you with it, is I'll hold the phone, you walk onto screen, say you're in front of the water wall. Leanne did a really good job of doing this a couple of weeks ago. I held the phone, she walked onto in front of the water wall and said, hey, just in case you missed it, and walked off. And she added that to an old video. And it had great information that she was talking about, because your audience isn't going to see every single post. So if you take a post from a couple of weeks ago and you add a quick little clip, doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. You could take your phone and do a quick selfie walking video, say, hey, just in case you missed it, takes 2 seconds to do. Add that to your video from a couple of weeks ago and post it. Easy enough, right? Then you're reusing content and you're taking that same information and you're blasting it out several times over instead of one video at a time. People like to see behind the scenes. And this is where Rob kicks in because he's got this cool story. Well, at least I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool.
I'll come up here just so I'm near you. But
Okay.
no, I saw this thing with Hillary Clinton and Chelsea Clinton are on this book tour or whatever, and they were on the Graham Norton show, and they were talking about. He brought up the fact that Chelsea was a preteen and teen when she was living in the White House, and they were just talking about like the behind the scenes stuff. Not every time you see any first family, they're always standing like at the thing at the front. There's like, hi everyone, how are you? Hey, and it's like that's all you ever see of them. We don't know what really goes on there. So what made me watch the entire thing was he asked her about the food growing up in the White House, and she said, well, it's food for old people, so it's stuffy, fancy food that you largely can't pronounce what it is.
When she was a teenager,
And
she wanted like
Yeah,
pizza rolls.
like bagel bites, she wanted teenage food. And by the way, I thought it was funny when he said, well, couldn't you you're the president's daughter, can't you just go make me this? And she was like, no, it doesn't work that way. The chef at the White House outranks the president's children. So they had to eat what was there. So Hillary pointed out and said, well, be honest, tell him what you got in trouble for doing several times. And she said, well, I used to call and order pizza. And Hillary Clinton was like, by the way, you can't have pizza delivered to the White House. Like they just don't come up and ring the doorbell and hand you your box of pizza. It doesn't work that way. So she would con a Secret Service person who was friends with her into taking her out to the fence around the White House and getting the pizza and passing it through the fence for her and paying the driver. And I was like, that is insane, first of all, that you would think the president's children would be doing something like that. And second, the whole time I was just like, I was engulfed in it. I didn't care about the book or anything else, but I was like, all you ever see of those people are them doing the stiff things. You don't know that as soon as they do that and they go back inside, good night everyone, they walk around the corner and get on the phone and go, yeah, Domino's? And they start ordering a pizza. Like who would have ever thought that in a million years? So I was engulfed in this whole story, and it kept my attention the entire time. So that's the kind of stories that we're talking about. And I am trying to find a way that I can download that clip so that I can show that little clip next week at Connect, because it's hilarious. And just the fact too that the audience was like, oh my God. And Graham was like, what do you mean you can't have it delivered? Like, why can't they scan the guy and just have him come to the door and ring the doorbell? And the poor pizza guy who's walking up to this fence at the White House has guys with machine guns on the posts, and he's walking up to the fence like, I'm gonna die over a tip, and sliding a pizza. By the way, she said no, pizza always came with all the stuff just jumbled up in it because he had to turn it upright to get it through the fence. So it's stuff like that you just don't think about. But it was a great story, and it kept my attention the whole time. So that's the kind of behind the scenes vibe that we're talking about here. Does that make sense? Okay, I'll give this back to her now.
Thanks. All right. So, so on that, it makes them human. They're humans. They're not, these stiff robots that are just standing there. Oh, so nice to meet you. So nice to meet you. They're relatable. They're human beings. How can you bring the human aspect to real estate? People want to hear stories. They don't want to be given the definition of closing costs. They want to see the human side of things. If you need content, every single day I post a daily social media challenge. If you don't like it, that's fine. Come talk to me. We can bounce ideas off of each other and figure out what it is that you are going to post that day. So,
Oh, one more thing on closing costs. I'll just stand over here so Mike will pick it up.
yeah.
You can do a video on closing costs for your social media. You just have to do it in a real world way that makes sense to them, that they understand. So you don't explain what it is and talk high level to them. You can briefly say what it is and then say, which means on a house for this amount of money, it's going to be this exact dollar amount. And if you have to pay that, I mean, here's some creative ways you can go about saving that money or attaining that money or pulling that money aside. And then they take that, and that applies to them in real life. They actually think, I could actually do those things. And then I would have that box checked off, and it's no longer an issue. Because they don't think high level about the issue like that. They think about it as, what's my payment gonna be per month? And what is this closing cost? And I'm gonna have to pay that? Well, where is that coming from? And so talk to them in real world examples about it. And then that's the kind of video you can make and still make it real estate related.
Yep, exactly. If you don't think you're creative, we've got something right here in office that can help you. It's called the coffee machine. If caffeine is not for you, that's completely okay. I know, Warrell, like you work out, you're probably totally willing to go out front and do some jumping jacks and push-ups with somebody to get somebody's blood pumping and keep going. So if caffeine's not your thing, jump in and do exercise. And that kind of ties into Wednesday's, or yesterday, it was yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday's Connect was, how do you get up and how do you keep going? How do you keep the stresses out through the day? All right, any questions? Gonna be creative? Bounce ideas off of me. Jump on my calendar, jump on Rob's calendar, bounce ideas off of us. Because whenever you have somebody that, is in your world and understands your world as a realtor, we can help bounce the ideas off of each other so we get to a concrete conclusion as to what it is that you're gonna be doing, okay? All right, jump on my calendar.